Hello everyone, this is Pluto here. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the first video and hopefully a longer series I will be doing where I detail every single reference and Easter egg, and as well as hidden details, of course, in every single Wizard101 world. And today we're going to be starting with Wizard City, so if you could please, before this video starts, leave a like and subscribe. I'd be greatly appreciated. So let's just jump right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to be doing in every single world is basically telling you what the theme and setting of each world is. Because as you know, in most Wizard101 worlds, there is a certain theme or setting that's a reference to something. But in Wizard City, it's kind of hard to find that. The biggest reference I can give this world is it's one massive Harry Potter reference, but it's not really that either. Bartleby has roots to Yggdrasil, which is the world tree from Norse mythology, and there are many other hidden references to things like The Wizard of Oz, the Lord of the Rings series, The Hobbit, and many other series, as well as Arthurian legends as well, that you can't really have a pinpoint, like an exact theme of the world that's a reference like you can with Krakatopia in ancient Egypt, with Marleybone in Great Britain, or with Mushu in ancient China and Japan. Wizard City doesn't really have that. It's probably one of the more unique worlds in this game. So I would say the biggest inspiration it draws from is probably Harry Potter and other magical series that it references throughout the questline of the world. So let's start off with some of the major characters that you encounter in the tutorial. Starting, of course, with Headmaster Merle Ambrose. And this guy is the icon of Wizard101. He's essentially the main character besides your wizard. Everyone, whenever you think of Wizard101, usually you think of him. Now, Headmaster Merle Ambrose draws inspiration from several different people. Clearly, he is meant to be a reference to famous wizard Merlin from Arthurian legends, but he also draws inspiration from Dumbledore, Gandalf, Dumbledore being from the Harry Potter series, and Gandalf, of course, being from Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit. And his last name, Ambrose, is a reference to the Romano-British war leader Ambrosius Aurelianus. I probably butchered that name. In the tutorial, Headmaster Ambrose says, quote, "On a world that does not even believe in magic," which is a clear reference to Earth. Gamma the Owl is clearly meant to represent Hedwig from the Harry Potter series, but I like to think that it also may have drawn inspiration from the famous Tootsie Roll Owl commercial for the Tootsie Roll Pops. This is because Gamma the Owl has a little graduation cap, and in those commercials, the Tootsie Roll Owl also has a graduation cap. The skeletal pirates yell parley after being defeated, which could be a reference to a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and where Elizabeth Turner yells parley after being captured by Barbossa. The side quest, Saving Private Orion, is a reference to the movie Saving Private Ryan. The quest, Yellow Brick Road, is a clear reference to the Wizard of Oz, as is the NPC Dorothy Gale. Furthermore, Dorothy Gale mentions Auntie M, another character from the Wizard of Oz, and a follow-up quest called Not in Kansas Anymore is also a clear reference to the Wizard of Oz. And furthermore, in the dialogue, Dorothy also mentions, quote, "I always fear a wicked witch might show up and whisk them back to her castle," which is also a reference to a scene from The Wizard of Oz. And Dorothy also mentions, quote, "This place is as fun as a barrel of flying monkeys," which is a reference to the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. And when you complete the quest Not in Kansas Anymore, this gives you Ruby Slippers item, which is another reference to the movie The Wizard of Oz. And the final reference to the movie The Wizard of Oz is in this quest line. You have to save the Tin Man and Mr. Toto, which are two characters from The Wizard of Oz. The quest Grim Tales could be a reference to the British children's television program known as Grim Tales. The Iron Golem, which is atop the Golem Tower, might be a reference to the Studio Ghibli movie Iron Giant. The Storm Professor, Halston Baelstrom, may be referencing Roy Halston Frowick, an American fashion designer. I personally believe this to be true because Baelstrom is by far the most dripped of the Ravenwood professors. The Ice Professor, Lydia Greyrose, is a reference to the Harry Potter character Professor Minerva McGonagall, and also appears to be maybe similar to another Harry Potter character named Molly Weasley as well. Also, fun fact, Lydia Greyrose was originally intended to be the headmistress of Ravenwood when they were first designing the game. The Fire Professor, Dahlia Falmea, also appears to be referencing Harry Potter, as she's also very similar to Professor Minerva McGonagall. However, Dahlia Falmea's name and hairdo is referencing the dahlia flower. I don't know, what do you guys think? I think these two look very similar. I think the dahlia flower and Dahlia Falmea's hair and name are very similar, so I believe this to be a reference, but tell me what you guys think. Cyrus Drake, the myth professor at Ravenwood, is clearly supposed to be a reference to Severus Snape, the professor from Hogwarts in the Harry Potter series. According to some sources, Life Professor Melinda Wu's name is referencing a real person named Melinda Wu, who I theorize to be maybe a KI dev, but I have nothing to confirm this, and I'm also not sure if this is real. There are just some rumors about it online, but I will include it in the video just in case. And for the final professor, the NPC Arthur Wethersfield may be referencing the village Wethersfield, England, and this is because Arthur is from Marylebone, which is a clear reference to England. The NPC Mr. Lincoln may be reference to the Mr. Lincoln rose plant, and it could also be a reference to the song Mr. Lincoln by Hank Williams Jr., but I think this is probably a stretch. The Ravenwood trees are all inside jokes, and I'm going to go over each and every one of them right now. So the first tree is Torrance. Now Torrance is a reference to the word torrents, which is a word that relates to like storm and rain. I'll have the definition up on screen. Kelvin is a degree of temperature, is a measurement of temperature. Bernie is meant to be a reference to burn. Haha, get it? Just Bernie, burn. Ivan over here, who's all the way over here. Haha, get it? He has one eye. Ivan, get it? Ha ha ha. And then for the final tree we have is Blossom, at least in Ravenwood. Now Blossom is a cherry blossom tree, so her name is in reference to that. I mentioned this earlier, but Bartleby is clearly meant to be a reference to Norse mythology and that of Yggdrasil, the world tree. The entire area of Ravenwood may also be a reference to the Indiana Jones movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, in which there's a character named Marion Ravenwood. However, I think it's more likely to be referencing Bartleby and Grandmother Raven. Now, Bartleby is a tree, and what do trees have? They have wood, and Grandmother Raven is, of course, a raven, and they are credited with creating a spiral. Thus, you have Ravenwood as a reference to Bartleby with wood, and Raven to Grandmother Raven. The NPC Abby K. Doodle is a reference to the famous magician trick Abracadoodle. The NPC Sergeant Muldoon is a reference to the 1968 movie The Green Berets, which is referencing a character of the same name. The side quest, The Wizards in the Mist, refers to the movie Gorillas in the Mist. Prospector Zeke's Find the Smiths quest is a reference to a band called The Smiths. And furthermore, clearly Eloise Merriweather and Prospector Zeke are referencing American explorers, Prospector Zeke being a reference to prospectors that explored California during the 1800s gold rush, and Eloise Merriweather sharing the same name as the American explorer Meriwether Lewis, who was sent for the Lewis and Clark expedition by U.S. President Thomas Jefferson. The quest Secret Strife of Pets is a reference to the movie Secret Life of Pets, and people that appear in this quest are the NPC Penny Dreadful, who was named after 1800s English books that costed only a penny. Her character later references that she was born in Marylebone, which is Wizard101's English world, thus connecting her to that reference. And you also fight an enemy, Old Judd, who is a reference to the novel/movie Pet Sematary by Stephen King. The character Judd Crandall is who he's based on. Although not appearing in the mainline quest of Wizard City, the NPC Winnie Wolfton is a reference to a former King's Isle employee, Renee Wotton. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but Renee Wotton, I believe. And she is also voiced, Renee Wolfton is also voiced by Professor Falmea, or Leia Rubin, I believe her name is, her real name is, and she is the director of the games for Wizard101 and Pirate101, which is a pretty cool fact. The NPCs Private Guildenstern and Private Rosencrantz are both references to the Shakespeare play Hamlet, them being minor characters in the Shakespeare play. The NPC Milo Barker may be a reference to the famous circus ringleader P.T. Barnum. Furthermore, the side quest Hoard of the Rings is a reference to the novel/movies Lord of the Rings. The NPC Nigel Higginbottom may be a reference to the photographer Nigel Barker. This is due to the NPC Milo Barker also sharing a very similar name. Stretch? Yeah, maybe, but this is a pretty cool coincidence if it is a stretch. The NPC, Dr. Perot, is a reference to an 1896 sci-fi novel by H.G. Wells called The Island of Dr. Moreau. Interestingly, the novel is about a mad scientist who creates hybrid beings from animals. Kind of sounds similar, doesn't it? The West End Boys Pet Shop in the Pet Pavilion is a reference to the British pop duo named Pet Shop Boys. And the West End Girls Pet Shop in the Pet Pavilion is a reference to a famous song by the same British pop duo, Pet Shop Boys, called West End Girls. The quest Wizzy 500 is a reference to the Indy 500 race. The quests Clear as a Crystal and The Enemy Revealed are both references. The quest Clear as a Crystal is a reference to a Billy Joel song called I Go to Extremes, and the quest The Enemy Revealed may be referencing a scene from The Hobbit Desolation of Smaug called The Enemy Revealed. Now, I think the second one may be a stretch, so let me know what you guys think. Eleanor Abernathy, an NPC who appears in Firecat Alley, is a reference to a character from The Simpsons of the same name. Also, the quest she gives, What's in a Pet Name, is one massive big Simpsons reference with a mob named Larry, who is also a reference to The Simpsons, and an NPC named Bernice, who is as well. The quest Putting Out the Fire is a reference to a song by David Bowie. The quest She Ran Crying Wildfire is a reference to a song by Michael Martin Murphey. The NPC Lizo Firespitter is a reference to the popular singer Lizo. The quest 100% Not That Witch is a reference to the Lizzo song called Truth Hurts. The boss Alekin Swift Arrow is a reference to a Shakespeare quote, as swift as an arrow. The Fire Globe Theater is a reference to the Globe Theater that was used by Shakespeare. There are many references to Lizzo's songs in the quest, quote, Problematic Casting, specifically the songs Truth Hurts and Juice. The quest Don't Need the Trolls is a really funny, self-aware quest where KingsIsle pokes fun at the PvP community. The quest Good Day to Cyclops is a reference to the movie A Good Day to Die Hard. And the NPC Nolan Stormgate and, by extension, Duncan Grimwater appear to be somewhat in reference to Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter. And furthermore, in the quest Mad Maximus, which is given to the wizard by Private Emerson over here, the NPC, Private Emerson, refers to Pablo Picasso, although he refers to him as Pablo C. Thunder. And the quest Mad Maximus may also be a reference to the movie Mad Max. The quest Mazes and Minotaurs is a reference to the labyrinth in Greek mythology. The NPC, Romulus, is clearly a reference to the Roman Emperor Romulus. And the NPC, General Achilles, is clearly a reference to the Greek hero Achilles. And furthermore, the quest Achilles' Deal is a reference to Achilles' heel. The quest Fare Thee Well is a reference to Renaissance fairs. The Great One is a reference to the killer rabbit from Monty Python's Holy Grail called Bunnicula. The quest, quote, A Brief History of the Spiral is a reference to the Stephen Hawking book, quote, A Brief History of Time. Daisy Willowmancer is a reference to Velma from Scooby-Doo. The quest, Take a Walk on the Night Side, is a reference to the song, quote, Take a Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed. Mortis the Death Tree is a reference to Rigor Mortis. Dworgen the Death Professor is a reference to The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but it's also a clear reference to Argus Filch, the caretaker of Hogwarts from the Harry Potter series. Marla Stinger, Paulson, Norton, and Grubb are all references to Fight Club. These are all characters that appear in the dungeon Sunken City. And finally, the quest A Whole New World is a reference to the song from Aladdin, A Whole New World. Did I miss any references or details or Easter eggs? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also, tell me what you thought of this video, and please leave a like and subscribe. I would be greatly appreciated. Have a fantastic rest of your day.